Hi Scorpio, this is Kacee. I wanted to do a reading for you because as you know we are in Mercury retrograde in Pisces, which governs all our emotions and our intuitive sides. And then we are going to have a full moon in Libra on March 20th, and that has to do with our relationships. So I thought it would be a good idea to pull some tarot and do some readings for you guys and to see what kind of clarity we can get through this particular energy. Now, Mercury retrograde and the full moon has its pros and cons. One thing that they do have in common is that it brings up past issues for us to deal with so that we can put them to rest once and for all. If we don't, they will reoccur for us to address them at a later time, so it's always best to use our time wisely and try to get these situations under wraps and put them behind us. This is a general reading, so my hopes is that something that is laid out in the message can be useful to you and you can apply it to your situation as you move through. The first two cards I'm pulling for you, Scorpio, are your energies, and we have strategy and the temple path. Now that is very interesting because the temple path has to do with your spirituality, possibly your religion. It's all where your faith is based on. And then we have strategy. And strategy a lot of times has to do with the fact that we are on a new mission, on a new journey. We're taking notes, we're planning things out, we have goals. So this is very intense energy for you, Scorpio, as you're bringing that into the Mercury retrograde and full moon energies. Now the second card I'm going to pull here is going to be for what energy the retrograde in Pisces is bringing into the situation. And Mercury is all about our shadow sides right now. That is where we have to face some situations that we have not been dealing with internally. This is kind of like a fear-based situation. This is where you have to face parts of your personality or parts of your past that you have kind of put on the back burner, that you really haven't worked all the way through and found that higher power, find where you can kind of release it so you can raise your vibration. It's kind of holding you down. So during the retrograde in the full moon, it's asking you to reevaluate those again. Now, if you notice here, we have the numbers 21 and 12, and the threes are all about expansion, so please keep that in mind. This is where you're going to manifest some beautiful things with the threes. That's completion, creation, success. So I think Pisces got the threes as well. There's a lot of threes coming up, and a lot of us are going through the same kind of stuff at the same time. So, you know, if someone's acting a little odd around the full moon, it's because they're dealing with putting some things to rest as well, and they're not acting in their usual manner. So kind of be patient with the people around you as well as yourselves as you go through these energies, because we're all doing it too. Okay, I'm going to cut these cards here. This is going to be for your Libra energy influence for the full moon. And we have wishing. Wow. Okay, so that's very intense as well, because this is where you're putting your wishes, hopes, and dreams out into the universe. This is where the Libra influence is telling you for the full moon that this is a new cycle and a new completion. You can start fresh. You can see where you want to plant the new seeds, but you have to do the inner work and get through that fear-based shadow side of yourself. Maybe this could be negative thinking, that you can't do it, that you can't make your wishes come through. And this is where you have to put everything down and get your goals situated and get on that belief system that nothing can hold you back, Scorpio. If you wish it and you want it and it is of a high vibration and is for the better of everyone else as well as yourself, there's no reason why you can't manifest it. Remember how powerful you are. So when you start to doubt yourself with that shadow side, make sure that you also remember all the things that you've accomplished so far, so that you can realize that there's nothing that can stop you. If you can survive everything up until this point, what makes you think you can't survive and overcome other things that are thrown at you? So please keep that in mind. I'm going to pull some cards here, and this is going to be for your mental and your physical challenges for these energies. And so the mental challenge that we're dealing with right now is moving on, moving past, moving up. walking away from things that no longer serve you, moving towards something that does. Move to those wishes, hopes, and dreams, Scorpio. The second one is going to be the physical energies around you for your challenges. And we have firm foundation. Now, are you moving away from a firm foundation onto something new? Are you moving to a new foundation? Let's see what kind of clarification we can get on that when we pull some other tarot. Right now, I'm going to pull your emotion card. See where your emotions are at right now for you, Scorpio. And we have spiritual union. Well, we have another 2 here, so we have 2, 4, and 6. 2, 4, 6. So the spiritual union, that is usually my my soulmate card. Now, soulmates can be friends, family, co-workers, your significant other. It doesn't have to be the person that you're married to. It could be your best friend. It could be your sister or your brother. It could be the person across the street. It's somebody that you click with immediately. You're on the same page. You have the same values. You have the same goals. This is someone that you're going to lift each other up and push each other in the right aspect. So that's a beautiful relationship. Now we are also going to do a spirit message card for you and see what we can do with that information. And we have stand your ground. So with the stand your ground, this is where I always think that if someone is going to challenge your thoughts or your beliefs or what your wishes, hopes, and dreams are, this is where you kind of stand your ground nicely, firmly, and be like, this is where I want to be. This is how I want things to be done. This is my life, and these are the things I want to accomplish while I'm here. And this is also has to do with your spiritual self as well, where it says spiritual union in the temple path. This is, where you have to really rely on your intuition to help you move forward. Now, you're very spiritual. You're very intuitive. You can read people like a book. Scorpios do have a tendency of being very vocal on how they feel, which is a wonderful thing. We just need to make sure that as we are vocal about where we stand, what our belief systems are, and where we want to be, that we do it with clear and concise thinking. Now, you do have a firm foundation in your belief systems, and I believe that that's where you are with that temple path. Now, I think the moving on has more to do with you moving to something beautiful and spiritual with someone else and or with your own spirit guides. You do have to face some situations that are with the shadow side in regards to some things that you haven't dealt with up until this point, or you haven't dealt with them successfully, which is kind of holding your energies back a bit, so that once you do release this and you let go of some thought patterns that no longer serve you, you'll be able to raise your elevation, and you'll be able to get that hopes, dreams, and goals right on the table, that they won't be just thoughts anymore, that they'll actually start to manifest. Because as you release things that no longer serve us and we get rid of that negative energy, positive, new, beautiful energy comes in its place. Here we have the King of Cups. King of Cups is all about emotional balance and positive control, generosity, knowing where you are, knowing where you need to be. Three of Wands is where communication may start to be a little slow, and this is where you may not see your end goal because you're not dealing with your shadow side as deeply as you should. So let's get some clarifying cards on this. This is a beautiful reading, to be honest with you, Scorpio, because you're going to be able to have the opportunity to raise your vibration to the next level and have your dreams and your wishes fulfilled, and you'll be moving to that spiritual union with and I believe it has someone else is going to be helping you find that new path. The foundation is very, very solid in what you're doing. So when you get a little confused and you can't see the end result, know that the path that you're on is a divine path, that it will happen and unfold as it's necessary. As you raise your vibration to those different levels, new things will unfold for you, and you'll be able to handle them a lot better because you've already made that choice that this is where you need to be. And here we have the Wheel of Fortune, as well as the Eight of Pentacles. Wow, look at that. I mean, if this doesn't say it all right here for you, Scorpio, as you're going through these energies and you're clearing out what no longer serves you and you're finding a new path so you can raise your elevation, you are going to wonder where you're going with this. But have faith. That's what this is all about with the temple path, is have faith, because you're on a new cycle. You're on a new journey. This is something that is going to be very clear and concise, and is also going to be able to balance you emotionally, and it's going to be very generous to you. The knowledge is going to come to you very quickly, very lovingly. It's going to help you raise your vibration. It's nothing to be afraid of. So as you open yourself up a little bit more and you listen to your intuitive side, and there are more messages, please don't fear them. This is where you need to move forward to. This is where you need to raise your elevation. This is nothing that you can be afraid of. Now, what you're going to do with this information, this is where you're going to have to kind of think about that as well. Are you going to, let everybody in on your secrets and let them know that these are the powers that you have and this is the new place that you're on? Are you going to be able to be vocal and share this with other people? Because as you stand your ground into your fully beliefs, not everyone's going to be on the same page with you, but you want to spread that message of joy and of source, and be that earth angel that you are meant to be. So if this is the case, don't let other people rain on your parade, because you know that you're speaking from a higher power. You're listening to your intuition. You're helping people when they need to be helped, and you're giving them the advice that they need to hear at that time, whether they acknowledge it or not. So keep that in mind, that you are doing your soul's journey in your life's work, which is represented with the temple path, because that's all about new beginnings. It's all about you connecting to source. This is where you need to be right now, Scorpio. And I believe this is a beautiful message, because you'll be able to help a lot of people with your faith and what you believe, and do it with light and love. Thank you so much for tuning in, Scorpio. I really do appreciate it. I hope that you do come back, so please like and subscribe.